All right. We are live and I am just making sure everything's set up right because I'm definitely running a bit behind my skis today. Welcome everybody to Tuesday Night Perry. It is 9 p.m. here on twitch.tv/ Perry Von Vicious. Uh yeah, boy, what a week. I missed the stream yesterday because the internet was out. So shout out Comcast. Just just messing everything up. Uh Particularly tough hit to take when my wife works from home and I am self-employed, so no internet means no income for a day. Cool. Shouts out. Cool business you're running. All right, that's a grouchy start to the stream, but that's not what we're doing this stream. We're gonna have some fun today because I'm doing some more Tinkercad toy designing, and this has been a lot of fun. I've been doing a lot more of this on stream lately. And yeah, today I've got a pretty cool little project planned. This is sort of a continuation of something I did in the workshop the other day, where I had designed or I had taken apart some toys. I'm gonna switch cameras real quick, and who knows, I may have to kill the green screen depending on how it plays with some of these. But I was showing off this toy monster truck that is a modern Hot Wheels monster truck Bigfoot body, and it is on a custom-made 3D printed chassis that I designed to reflect the old Matchbox superchargers. And we're going to be doing a little bit more stuff like this. Hey, Graves is here first in the chat. Welcome, glad to see you. Um, Gonna be doing a little bit more of this, and so the first step when I'm doing these is I have to take, trucks that. Hey, Beans is here, Rye is here, everybody's rolling in. The first step to making these is I start with basically just one of these that you can buy in the stores. Joey Nails in the house. Yeah, I do. I'm just getting some of these chats, and I think some of you were here before me. Um, but yeah, just seeing this truck. This is what you get when you go in the stores, right? Something that looks kind of like this. And the first step toward putting it onto one of these chassis is to take the body off. And that's what I did in the workshop last week. And as a result, I have to pick one that doesn't work weird with my green screen. I have some bodies like these that now have nothing underneath. This is from just a regular Hot Wheels scale, just a regular truck. And then I also have like this. This is a Bigfoot body from one of the Bigfoot trucks. And what I'm doing is designing chassis that I can put these on to sort of make this hybrid vehicle that looks more like the toys I grew up with and less like these really modern ones. So I have a pile of these bodies here, but I also have a couple of my 3D printed chassis with no bodies on them. So I can kind of see a little bit of what the design is like. And you kind of can see a little of it yourself. There's a little fake suspension. We got our wheels that are sort of printed inside. This one's on dually tires, where it's two small tractor tires next to each other. That was a style back in the day. And then this one is on sort of the more traditional monster truck tire, specifically scaled to be like the Matchbox superchargers from the 80s. So what I'm doing tonight, hopefully, is getting through a few designs for these bodies. Oh, let's see. Perry, serious question. Do you feel you can take those bodies and maybe add some real Perry legs to those truck bodies? I think that would be, I have some ideas to do some weird things like that. I do have the for my buddy Kerfloss over on Instagram. You can find him when he designed this, and I think I have like two of these left to sell, and that's sort of the first foray into like a bit of a Transformers half human, half monster truck. Yeah, I know. On the subject of owing an extra stream because of the internet being out yesterday, I do think I'm probably going to stream tomorrow night to make up for it. Um, Honestly, at this point, I've got so many projects that have kind of piled up. I might be streaming a little bit more than that because I've got a bunch of things I want to do. and I like doing them on stream, and I've been putting them off. In fact, I can update you guys. Some of you popped in for a real quick stream I did the other week, where I was making a set of toy shelves for the Monster Jam minis. These little bitty guys, and I wanted my own custom shelves for them, and that's what I've got here, all printed out. Is this little display shelf. There's a slot up here where I can put a piece of plexiglass in the front, so it'll be like a shadow box. But if you look carefully, these shelves that come in and out have printed and molded into them crush cars. And I'm so psyched that the way these fit here looks really great, where they're just crushing cars in the shelf. They fit 4 trucks across. There's room in the back that I can put a little backdrop in. So I'm going to be printing some backdrops that maybe look a bit like a monster truck course. But yeah, pretty good that these little shelves just slot right in. I designed this up. It was maybe a 40-minute stream that I did last week, just kind of an impromptu thing. Yeah, little crowds. I have a couple backgrounds picked for that. Um, Before I take my front screen down here and jump into the 3D design, though, I did want to show real quick. I don't know who sent it to me, because it was sent anonymously, but from the gift wish list that's on my social media profiles, I did get a gift this past week. Some of you may recall seeing it, my merch table. See, I'm gonna shrink myself down for a sec. This picture, this is me with a monster truck called Enforcer. That was a big deal in the 80s. Raced against Bigfoot, raced against Gravedigger. This truck was parked at a motorsports shop in Torrington, Connecticut for 30 something years. Kind of, you can see the wear and tear on it, kind of rotting out in the sun. Um, but generally speaking, it was pretty well maintained. It has since been painted over and moved away. The owner moved down to South Carolina and he rents it out for weddings. Um, I even used it to recreate, up top here, you see these are the trading cards I had when I was a kid. And then down below is my version of me with that truck. And I sold that. I still have those at the merch table. But a fan was kind enough to snag for me. I'm gonna switch myself up big again. Fan sent me, they never made a toy of that until about a year ago. This truck now has its very own Hot Wheels scale toy from the Kings of Crunch series, trying to get the glare off it. And now I have it, which is pretty awesome. Uh, so yeah, I don't know who picked that up for me, but shouts out. Much appreciated. All right. I think I'm finally ready to oh, you know what? I was going to say I'm finally ready to get into it here. I hate doing a long preamble, but I do have a nice new toy. Those who've watched my 3D modeling streams in the past have seen my sort of cheapo plastic digital calipers. They've been acting up a lot lately, so I went ahead and invested in a really nice set of stainless steel digital calipers. Ooh, all right. That's all. Had to show it off. All right. Get that out of the way. And yeah, the fact that it came in a case is fantastic, and it has that sort of play school plastic texture to it, that sort of the stipply texture. Really like that. All right, clearing a few things out of the way here, and we are gonna take off into our design work. Um, Again, this is some work I'm excited to do because I really like this. This is stuff that puts a big dumb smile on my face. And oh gosh, you know what? I got to kill the green screen for a sec too. Um, because yeah, the do, 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 do. The first one we're gonna do, I got to show the first one we're gonna do. This is a gonna be a gift for Bobby Gilbert. I do have the body off of Avenger. And we are gonna make a little throwback style chassis for this guy, 3D printed custom. Put that together because I do have a couple things I'm supposed to send Bobby's way. I'm going to throw that in the box when it goes. All right, let me get the old green screen back up here, and we're going to jump into our design work. I've got a whole box of toy parts here that I'm going to be working with, so set that out of the way for the moment. All right. So Bobby, I gotta ask. I know you're in the chat. Yep, I see you there. Yeah. I gotta ask. When we were talking before, you had said that maybe you wanted to see this on a chassis that had the dually style tires with the two tractor tires. Is that still what you want, or do you want the classic Matchbox supercharger style? I'm seeing a yes. That's a yes on the dualies. All right, we can do that. All right, it may take a little bit of digging around on my design work here, but that's okay. We can make that happen because there's going to be a couple reference files I'm going to need to pull up. Go ahead and say Avenger chassis dualies. Not actually sure how dualies is supposed to be spelled. That's good enough for me. All right, so I've got our body. I've got a chassis to compare it to, and not all of this is going to totally read on camera, which is okay. It's also looking white because I have the green screen back on. But there's a couple little parts on it that are going to have to sink down in the chassis to look right. And that's more or less what I need to translate onto this chassis. And we might get a little ambitious and do a little bit of extra design work on here because I have some cool ideas for what we can do. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my Tinkercad over here. My all my designs up here. You can see there's a lot of them. Um, and I'm going to go find, should be Perry chassis 2 somewhere in here. They're always fairly buried. There's one that has just the single tractor tires instead of the dualies. There's sort of yeah, here we go. This is the one I wanted. We're going to open that up. All right. Good. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. We're going to copy it on over into here. Well, you've already picked a nickname for the chassis for the Avenger. What are you nicknaming it? Rolling up sleeves. I'm all layered up here because it's been chilly, and then I turn the lights on for the stream and it gets toasty. Anyone tuning in just to see how the design work is going, like on the YouTube rewatch, they're 13 minutes in and I haven't started on it yet. That's okay. Good things come to those who wait, I guess. Von Vicious chassis. I think that's a pretty good name for it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select this axle. I'm going to start ungrouping some things here, and the reason should become apparent in a moment. Okay, let's see. Bring this back here. There's some internal design things here that you won't be able to see just yet, and that's okay. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, this part that I'm showing off right now is not going to seem terribly interesting just yet, but it is important. Go like that. Go to like here, and let's see, how's that looking? I'm just trying to get the detail of the tractor rim back in there, but it's possible I didn't include it on this version. There it is. That's what I needed. I just wanted the rim to come back, you know? Now I can just completely get rid of that. That's what we're after. See, it's these little bitty details. I just want it to look a little bit cooler, and I had covered those up for the ease of printing, but I kind of want this version to look cool. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's come over here, delete that, delete that. And now we can select this whole thing, deselect that, deselect that, deselect that. If you were planning on putting an engine in it, could you put it in the front? I can. In fact, I'm glad you said that because that's going to be considerably easier with the way these chassis usually work. Yeah, we can definitely do a front engine, and we might even be able to get a little bit creative with how the engine looks. I have a couple little tricks for that that are going to make it look pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and I want to man D. We want to flip it that way, and then we want to bring it over till it's about even, but I need to smaller increments. I think that's going to be about even. We're looking good there, looking good there. All right, that's great. I'm going to go ahead and delete this rear axle. Select all, deselect the center chassis group, and that has created our rear axle. I was going to start from 0 on this with like literally nothing on the screen, start from just a square, but we've created a monster truck chassis on the channel before with these axles, the print in place axles. So I'll have a link to that on the YouTube video down below, and we'll just we'll figure, you know, that's good enough. Everyone can kind of piece that together. All right, now we've got this axle done. I'm gonna Command D. There we go. We're gonna back it on up here. We just want this to be in the middle of its little housing so that it's free and clear on all sides and can print. That's what we're looking for. In fact, we'll pan out, we'll look above. That's about centered. We know it's at the right height. Perfect. Cool. All right. So that is going to be the chassis. And in the bottom corner here of your screen, you'll be able to look and see, you know, part of what I'm doing is trying to see like, will the tires line up in a way that looks right? And it really does. Like they fall in the right spot. So I'm not going to have to adjust that, thankfully, because that is a fair bit of work. All right, but this is good because this now means I can use these little pegs that are here on the bottom. You see them sticking down there? I can use those to go in here and it'll give something for this to hold on to. This center peg here that I'm kind of spinning it around by is pretty long. I may have to hit that with the Dremel cutoff wheel because that might be a bit much. Um, all right. So I'm going to take this entire thing and we are going to flip it vertically so that it's sitting the way it'll sit when all is said and done here. And you see there's already a hole on this. I don't know that that actually lines up where I want this to be. Yeah, that's definitely going to need to move. And that's okay. Yeah, we're going to back that up a little bit. And what I'm doing off screen here is I'm sort of eyeballing where I want this to sit so that this is going to look right. Yeah, it doesn't have to back up much. All right. We're going to go to about there and call that good. Yeah, that's looking nice. Is your green screen messing with the body on that? No, it's messing. It's the green screen because the if you look carefully, you'll see some of the screen stuff on it. Yeah, you see some of the icons floating on the body. Yeah, no, that's just the green screen. All right. So I feel confident regrouping that for now. We're going to go to a top view here. I'm just going to select all, and then I'm going to deselect the axles, and we're going to group that whole thing together so that we're back once again to having a chassis. I'm going to make it a very sort of light gray so that we can see what's going on here. All right, that's looking. Hmm. See now, sometimes when I'm working on these, you can see that you can watch the wheels spin in real time because I'm thinking while I'm doing it. Yeah, I think that's gonna be. Yeah, that's the move. Oh, that's gonna be slick. Okay, cool. All right, I'm actually gonna ungroup that again real quick because I gotta steal a part from it. All right, so now I've made a duplicate of the plate there. Actually, and while I'm at it, make a duplicate of that. That way the hole stays in the same spot. Hmm. You know what? I'm actually gonna wait a minute. You're all watching me really like process in real time here. So I'm going to put the other holes for these other pieces on at the same time. I also want to make sure the diameter on this is what we're looking for here so that this can actually sink down. If this is at the right height, yeah, okay, I won't mess with it. That's good. All right, first time using the brand new digital calipers. Hell yeah. Big day. Big day. All right, so our diameter on that is looking to be at its thickest point right around 4 millimeters. So I just want to make sure that this is actually a size that's going to work. This has me super excited. I'm excited and bummed again. What are you bummed about? What's there to be bummed about? Okay, 4.5. Okay, yeah, that'll fit. That's good. I don't even have to change that. Outstanding. All right. But now we got to put in another one that I think is probably going to be a bit bigger. Yeah, we're going to need to make the next one like 6 millimeters. Right. And the distance between them is also important. Looks to be about 24, 24.5 millimeters. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to control D that. And this tells me how far I've moved. It's 24.5 in the middle. I don't know what it is otherwise. Oh yeah. I'm going to have to measure this while yeah, there we go. I'm going to start that over. This is, again, you're watching me process in real time. And to one end is going to be, all right, yeah, so somewhere right around 28.5. So we're going to move this. Gone for 28 point something. Definitely looks like too much, but that's what it red has. I'm not totally sold that this is correct, but we're doing it anyway. Yeah, that's how it reads. All right, well, I guess that's where that should be then. And this one has to be a little bit bigger. So we're going to call this, break out these calipers again. 0.6, we're going to call it 5. Call this 5. We're just going to scooch it down just a hair. There, that ought to, well, might be a bit much. There we go. All right, that's going to give us mounting holes there. Although that one's going to have to be longer for sure. I don't know. This I'm probably going to have to cut that little nib off with a cut wheel because I think it's going to be too long. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to have a hole running right through some of the parts down here. All right. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I don't want this to go all the way through like that. That's no good for me. Bring it up to like there. Yeah, that's gonna work. All right. And now switching to the big cam again. And again, I apologize that it's going to be weird with the green screen. But you can see on this, wow, that is weird. Bring it over here where it's white. Yeah, you see the two little nibs on the back there, those two little wings? Got to add something for those. Yeah, it's a shame the Kohlers won't be at that show. Uh, they're gonna be at the show out here in Boston, but alas, Pro Wrestling Grind announced their dates, and it looks like I'll be wrestling in East Hampton that day. So I too will be missing Monster Jam this year. Was hoping to go to Gillette, and in fact, some of the Grind folks were planning to go with me, but just not going to be the way this year, I'm afraid. But I am just a couple days away from the Monster Trucks in Springfield, and I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be great. All right, drop in our cube here for the slots for these wings that go on here. Rye'll be at Grind. Yep. So we're both missing Monster Jam that day. That's all right. They've got other shows. It'll happen again. Those chances are not few and far between by any stretch of the imagination. All right, let's check the size on these because I want these to have some space too. All right, we're gonna make these like 6.5 long by 1.5. Column 2. Yeah, so 6.5 by 2 is what we're looking at here. All right. We actually we need two of these. And they need to be how far apart? Somewhere around 8 millimeters apart. So go ahead and move this over about 8 millimeters to right there. Select them both. We want these basically centered here. So right about there. We want to go. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. And then as far as depth goes, that's kind of tough to say, but I think we can go as deep as we need to without messing with anything. So as long as we stay above the axle, we're good. All right, and now we got to figure out their positioning. And I can use that other little post here to kind of figure it out. Looks like we want to go 21, we'll call it 21 millimeters back from there. So bring it up just until it touches there. And then we want to go 21 back, which may bring us off the edge. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Just get a look here. Yeah, that should just peek off the edge like that. All right. I'm going to bring it up just a little because having a little extra overlap doesn't hurt. All right, that's looking good. And now what I want to do, this is where it gets tricky now, is I want to go pick this, pick this, pick this. Get out of there. Pick you, 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 and you. Make a copy, slide it on over. And now I can group this whole thing. Save for the axles. And that's going to give us all of our mounting points that will connect with the existing little pegs and slots that are on the body of our store-bought truck. And actually, I should say, for those who've been out to the shows in New England, the Western Mass shows and Northern Connecticut shows, this Avenger body that we're working with was part of a box of beat up monster truck toys that were donated to the channel by our good friend Alan Nadu. Was a regular viewer on the streams, hasn't been back in a little while because he's been a busy guy, but shout out to him for gifting us that. All right, there we go. That's looking good. We got our openings. Hell yeah. Okay. So this other piece here, this other plate, is what we're going to mount directly to this body. Let's see, if you add a driver's seat, could you add a mini gym? I might have a way to do that. Again, it's going to read a little oddly on the screen here, but you can see through the windows. So I am thinking I may want to try to add something in that vein. And again, a lot of this is stuff that you kind of do by eye, you know? Like it's a little tough to tell how high you want it to sit, how low you want it to sit. You know, those things can be a little tricky. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm literally staring at the toys and just kind of eyeballing bits and pieces. All right. So I'm gonna take all this, just gonna lower it on down so that it's at a working height for me. Something like that. Now I'm gonna try to zoom in on it. I'm actually gonna move the rest of this out of the way. Just get that over there so we're not looking at it anymore. All right. So we got the front here, we got the back here, and I do have this car body to sort of work around. And we want an engine to go in the front, and there's a cool trick to how that's going to work so that it'll look cool. Um, and the trick with the engines in the front on these I've learned is, and I can hold up the Bigfoot and sort of show you. I do have a little bit of an engine that I designed that sits in there. The trick with these is that they got to be pretty minimal because the detail gets lost easy. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. These are all things I'm willing to work on because this is what we're here for. So I think the first thing I want to do is the engine design. I think I want to do that first. And it's going to be a fairly simple little design. And again, a lot of this is happening a little bit off camera here because I'm trying to use the calipers for this. Right. So my max height on the engine is going to be somewhere right around like 7.1 millimeters. So that's sort of the max height on the design we can do for that. Again, you're not going to see a lot of that engine, but you will see a little of it. So what I want to do, it's going to be a pretty simple little design. Is I'm going to take this, we're going to rotate that. Yeah, that's going to be what we want to work with. That there. Let's get a little side. Ooh, I can lower all this exactly to the height I want. Let's see what we can do to get it to just about 0. Just for the sake of how it'll look. All right. So this we're going to bring up to about there. Hey, Herobotic made it. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Here, I know Herobotic's excited for monster trucks on Friday. Who wouldn't be? Am I right? All right. We're going to want this to sit. Actually, that's probably about how we want that, really. And then height-wise, we're going to bring this height down a fair bit. We're going to make this like a 4. Yeah, that's a good start. Heck yeah, this will be a bit more fun than the Hot Wheels show. And the Hot Wheels show was fun. I like some of what I've learned about the layout of this show, just in terms of timing structure. I like that. We're going to Control D, bring that up. Sorry, I'm narrating this build as we go here. This is the part where I get to be a little bit, more artistic here. Say like, yeah, let's go to about there. Now I'm gonna give it one of those. Bring it back a little. Yeah, that's looking, that's kind of looking how we want. Um, yeah, I believe this show they'll push the trucks a little bit more, certainly more than they did at Hot Wheels. Not a knock on them, but they're not in the business of banging their trucks up like Monster Jam does. All right, we can make this lean a little less extreme here because of what I need it to do. A part of the design here, part of what we do with these designs always is we're trying to find that happy medium between looking how we want it to look and actually like getting this to print successfully. So part of what we're always worrying about is meeting the parameters of the machine. So I'm going to select both of these, get us a side view here. And I want this to only just barely sink down into that. Yeah, there we go. Because now I can use this number at the combined height, and I know how much leeway I have because I need this to sit somewhere around, it's sort of a max of about 7 millimeters, give or take. Yeah, somewhere right around 7 millimeters is sort of our maximum here. Oh, I got plans for the seat, Bobby. You're gonna see this is gonna be fun because This is some of the first design work that I did when I got the 3D printer was doing this kind of thing. All right, we can go a little bit taller there. This engine's going to look a little cartoony, but it's because you're not really going to be able to see it that well. So I'm sort of exaggerating a lot of it. And again, a lot of it you're not really going to see. It's just got to give the feeling. Again, I'll show you in the corner here. That little bit that you can see there just gives sort of the idea of an engine. You know, you get the impression of what an engine there would be like. Wow, I really nailed the sizing. Sorry, I'm admiring design work that I did 3 years ago. Um, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this monster truck show on Friday because this stuff I don't get to go to ones that are that nearby that often that are actually like really cool. All right, we're gonna leave this whole front just kind of plain like this because again, it won't really be seen, but we can get a little wacky on the sides, and that's what I want to do. So let's see. I know somewhere over here I believe I can do a search for shape types. There it is. That's what I want. So this is a cool design piece that they made here that is a pipe that you can alter and change as you go along. Um, so let's see. I want to say we don't need a hole. We're going to make the wall thickness all the way up so it's a solid piece because it's going to be so small you won't be able to see it. Um, as far as these little ridges, we're calling it good enough. And then I am going to need to make this considerably smaller. Bring it over here. All right. Now we start doing a little rotating, a little bit of changing here. And you're going to see how very customizable this is. It's very cool. Like discovering this was an option was a great moment for me when I was doing some initial modeling work here. All right. So one of the first things I want to do is change the lead-in length, all like basically to nothing like you see there. The lead out length I'm also going to bring in. The arc diameter I think is okay for the moment for what I'm going to do with this. And then I know I'm going to need to make this a bit smaller and thinner, but that's okay. All right, let's bring it down. Yeah, that's about the size we're looking for. All right, I'm gonna bring it about there. Bring it in till it's about there. And you see this little ridge that we're giving it? That's really the effect I'm looking for. It's just we're just giving the engine a little bit more complex shape. That's sort of the goal here. All right, cool. I'm gonna Command D that, move it over to the spacing that I want, and then if I hit it again, maybe again, let's see. Let's see if that'll work the way I want it to. It's never totally sure. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. All right, now I'm gonna go one. We're gonna go one, two. No, hey, come on, work with me here. One, two, three, and four. And I'm gonna make a copy of that. We're gonna flip it that way, and then we're just gonna mirror it on this other side here. Yeah, something like that. And now you can sort of see our little mock engine happening here. Let me get a front view. Are we a little off center? Yeah, we're a little off center with this piece. That's what we're looking for. All right, looking good. Looking good. And I'm referencing my old design here to see like, is there anything else that I really want? Anything that's missing on this design? And then I also want to check the width of this chassis because I may have to change that on both models here. All kinds of fun little bits that you're learning about here, these silly little design elements. Okay, 25.43 is what I have for that. And currently that number is 21.25. Oh, we gotta go a fair bit wider than that then. So I want to fill in that bottom of the chassis so that all this looks right. So 25.4, we're going to call it 25 even and leave a little bit of leeway. Little bit of leeway. All right, now we just got to center that with everything else. And that's going to be pretty easy to do because we can just eyeball it. It's just got to be close. I think that's about centered. All right. Is there any way you can add PVV to the tires? There certainly is. I don't know if I can get it to arc the way that we would probably want, but I can get PVV on the tires at least. But I think we can do a little bit more on this engine because we got a lot of space to work with here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and select the parts that I want. Right now I'm just going to say, let's see what happens if we, oh yeah, now we're getting somewhere. All right. All right. Now we're starting to look pretty cool. Okay. We're in business now. Let's make sure that's still centered. That's looking pretty centered to me. All right, and what is our current height on this? We can go a little bit higher. Go about to there. Yeah. Now we got something happen. We got some cool stuff happening now. Yeah, putting the PVV on the tires is a great idea. And oh, sorry, getting distracted. Um and in fact doing the cab on here is also going to be a good idea. And I think I've got a pretty slick way I can make that work. Yeah, yeah, this is all gonna come together here. And I think we're gonna put a little Bobby in there too. It could be Jim Kohler, but I think it's Bobby. He'll be wearing a helmet. We won't know who it is. Could be Bobby, could be Jim Kohler. My camera keeps cutting me off there. All right. Sue, starting to lose layers here in the office. Cue the uh cue the striptease music with the flannel coming off here. Try to do this carefully, not mess up the green screen or my microphone. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to add a seat and, if I can, a little bit of like a dashboard and such, because I think we're going to be able to do that. We've got a fair bit of space to work with here. Again, the space I'm working with is so little. Look at it in my hands. It's tiny, but those details can work. We can make this absolutely work. All right. So I have about, we're going to call it 13 millimeters that I have to work with here. So let's drop in a cube. It's going to need to be, okay. And then for width, we can go pretty wide. We're going to make it just a little bit less wide than the entirety of the chassis here, though. the top view. Go a little bit wider than that. And then let's just get it centered. Right, and this is actually going to go all the way back to that placement hole that we made. And that cube that you're seeing there, what that represents is the space that we have to work with for a cab. I do need to get the height though, because I think the height can go a little bit higher than what we're seeing there. So let's call it somewhere around here. It looks like, yeah, our max height is going to be, we'll call it 17 millimeters. There. So that's about the space we have to work with for a cab here. Right. So we're going to start with our dashboard and then work up from there. And it's also, I just realized it's important that I need to be able to see just how much of it will actually be visible. So it's going to be somewhere right around the last 5.5 millimeters is what you'll really be able to see. So that's about like the head of our driver is going to have to be something right about there. So we'll call it like 4. I'm going to bring a sphere in just to represent our little driver for a minute. And we're going to make that right around 4 millimeters. We're going to go ahead. We're going to kick this old school and he's going to be on the side rather than in the center. And then he's got to come down to like somewhere right about there. That's about where that's going to work. So for now, we're going to take this cube. We're going to bring it forward to there. And we're going to start mapping out our dashboard and controls. All right, I think we kind of got what we need here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. And for our dashboard design, thinking we sort of want these designs are tricky. This is where the most sort of like thinking is going on in my head where I'm thinking like, do I want this? Do I want that? You know? I think the first thing I want to block in is probably our seat for our drive. You know what? We need a driver. And I know how to do this. Off screen here, I'm going to Thingiverse. And I'm just going to find a pre-made model. Yeah, that's what I want. That's absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to see if this model will actually open in here. We're going to see if we can put this little guy in here and then we'll be able to design around him. Sometimes it won't work. Yeah, too many meshes. It's too high quality. Maybe we can fit less of them, just parts of them. I'll find a different one. I'm sure this is thrilling television. It was a bummer that I wasn't able to stream last night. The internet was down, and I was, like so many of us, my first impulse was, I did something to the router. Nope. Guy came this morning. One of the weirder interactions I've ever had with a repair person. Guy showed up this morning and he fussed around with the router and the modem, and then he said, "All right, I'm gonna go check some things out in the truck." And he goes out in his truck, and then he just disappeared for like quite a while. And then finally he started the work truck and drove off. Never came back in, never said a word. Um, and a few minutes later, he came walking back up the driveway from somewhere around the corner and let us know that it was working again. He had to go climb up the pole. There was something wrong, literally wrong with the wires up in the pole, and he had to go fuss with them. I couldn't believe that he was equipped for that kind of thing. That seems like seems like the kind of thing that maybe you don't just send some repairman to do. I don't know. All right, this might be what I need. Yeah, this might work a little bit better. I'm trying to find a low poly like driver type character. No, not export, import. I'll let that sit there and think about it. What it's done. Click clicking around too fast and getting excited. Let's go ahead and import. As far as that goes, let's go ahead and can I cancel the export? And I'm just gonna have to sit there and let it run. That's okay. That is a-okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give this a bit of a radius. Sink it down a little. And then I'm gonna stretch it up a little bit. Probably like here somewhere. These are things I may change after the fact. Now let's see. I need this disc shape. Hey, there's our new driver. He's a little disheveled looking, but I think we can work with him. He's definitely got some weird floating parts that I'm not going to print. But once he's shrunk down, we just need the shape of a driver. We're going to probably put just find some way to model a helmet around him, I think. All right, he's clearly a bit small, so we're going to size him up till like that's about the size of the head. Yeah, I think we're looking pretty good here. We're getting somewhere. Whoa, that's a thick boy. He can be a little bit more human looking, I think. Now let's go ahead. We are gonna put him off to the side here because that's how the trucks were back in the day. And let's see, probably make this a bit thinner. Yeah, something like that. Bring this guy forward a little bit, and it's not going to matter that you're not going to see his legs because that's going to be the part that's completely hidden here. All right, so back to this. We got our wall thickness up basically as high as it'll. You know what? We can go prettier than that. If we're making a dang steering wheel, let's make a steering wheel, huh? Let's go something like. Yeah, we can go kind of an in-between angle here. Yeah. Oh, that's not how I want to adjust that. Let's try the tube setting. Whoa, little. Well, you know what? It's going to be pretty small, so it's probably for the best. What's the sides do? It just makes it smooth. All right. Cool. So let's shrink that down. Move it on up here. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be made smaller than that before too long here. Hey, it's even kind of lined up where I want it. Look at that. That's good. Zoom way in. Yeah, we're gonna shrink this down a fair bit. we gotta go smaller. That's right, it's the tube control that does it, right? Let's bring it back out here. Get a little perspective going on. And remember, once this is Hot Wheels size, it's going to be real hard to see most of this detail. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this real long so that it's good and connected here. And that's going to be probably good enough. I do want the hands to be a little bit like embedded in it though. I want them to sort of sink in. That's going to help keep the print clean. Okay, what was that? What did we do here? There we go. That's what I want. All right. That's going to be the look we're after there for the steering wheel. Again, this is going to be so little that that's really going to disappear. All right, let's get rid of our placeholder head. We're going to leave the head for now. I think that's looking pretty good for the moment. But obviously, the thing we really need for him is going to be a seat. So I'm going to copy that guy, bring it on back here, and I am going to let it fall into this tube here. It's going to end up being part of the support system for that tube. Let's get a view. This is going to come up to it's going to come up to here because back in the day they didn't have headrests on these trucks. We might give them a headrest anyway. We might give them like an old school, like just a car headrest behind here, but we'll see. We'll we'll play it by ear. Um, as far as this radius, I'm going to bring it back just a little bit. Let's get a top view. How we liking that? I'm liking that. That's looking good. I believe the awe is probably directed at this. It looks kind of cute, and it does. What can I say? I'm great at what I do. All right. So now what I'm going to do. This is where I get to start being a little bit creative here because this is a little plain, and you might not see all these details, but I've got a way we can make it a little more interesting. Something like there. Go ahead and copy that. We'll bring it over just until they're almost touching. And then I'm going to go boom, 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 all the way down. Select that, remove it, and boom, look at that. Look what I did, you guys. We have texture on our seat. How's that? I think that's looking pretty good. Pretty pleased with myself about that. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and copy that. We're going to give it the old 90 degrees. We're going to bring it forward to like here. Lower it on down. We're going to let him sink right into his seat. And now he has a textured seat as well. That's looking pretty good. I do think we should give him a headrest maybe. Well, you know what? Let's not just yet. We won't do it just yet. I'm hopping back over into Thingiverse to see if there's a better head that we can give him. If there's like a better sculpt we can give. Because if I have to, I'll just design my own on the spot, but it's a little bit easier to use something that already exists. Yeah, that's gonna. Oh, I found the one. A little file on over here. And we're not done yet. I do have one more thing I want to add to this that I think will make this look really cool. Because I can't do a whole ton else with this because with it being a car body, I can't do like on this design, I added roll bars and I added a back bed that sort of fills in. I can't do that on this one because it is a car. Um, so we're gonna find some other options. There's our helmet. uh, so pleased with myself. All right, we're gonna have to shrink this way down. Zoom way in here. Yeah, we're getting closer. With this coloring, it looks a little bit like the Pink Ranger, which, maybe not a problem. Maybe no problem. All right, so here's where I have to get a little bit creative with this. Um, because this model's very thin, this helmet model that I'm putting on him, ooh, I kind of want to stretch it a little, give him sort of a chance to see out of it. Yeah. And then I think I want to shrink it back this way. Something like that. It's looking pretty good. See how far forward can it go? About there somewhere. Yeah, we can shrink this back a bit more. Yeah, it does, but what can you do? He needs a thicker head, I think. Now that I can actually make happen. I think I have a way to do that. Go ahead and drop this shape in here. We're gonna reshape it a fair bit. Make it significantly smaller. So he's less of a cone head, more of a round head. Bring it over here somewhere. Yeah, this is kind of what I'm thinking is I just need to reshape how this is gonna sit. Let's get a top-down view here. I'm spending a lot of time modeling a tiny little man who's gonna look very much like he's just made of like little bits and pieces. Maybe if it's yeah, give it one of these. Well, the divot in the back is very that's how those helmets are designed. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm actually, you know what? I bet if I group that, it's gonna look pretty good. I think that's taken a little bit of the edge out of there. He's got now with it being white, it's got a bit of a stormtrooper vibe, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna ungroup them real quick, and now I'm gonna do something that's a little dumb trick secret that I know with thanks, Stephanie73. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm being set up for something. Um, a little trick that I've learned with this is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna holding shift. I'm gonna shrink. I'm gonna make a copy of this, and then I'm gonna shrink it just a little, And then I'm going to repeat that over and over and over until it fills in down on them, which looks really weird right now. But for this to print solidly, that plastic has to be thicker than that, and this is really one of the only ways that's going to work. Yeah, exactly. See, thank you. Both of you read it exactly how I read it. It read like someone's coming in to make mob threats. I'm glad it wasn't just me. All right, so I think we're going to call that our little driver area. Now, I have done some things in the past, and I probably should again. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna command D this guy. This is another little thing that I've learned. Yeah, thanks, Bobby Gilbert. You get the vibe. Now this is gonna look really weird, but it's really necessary. Yes, Stephanie, I am. I'm modeling for a 3D printed monster truck toy, and then I'm just gonna repeat that till it fills in. Then I'm gonna have to get rid of that in a second. And the reason that that ugliness is there is because otherwise there's no way that this will print. So all that detail is gone, but you never would have seen that detail. Again, this is going to be for scale. This is the size that it ends up being. That's my fingernail next to the driver's head on a previous print of a similar design. So it's not going to be seen, but this will make it print solidly. And speaking of, I'm actually going to copy that, and then I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, we're just going to fill in the blank in the middle there as well. That way it's all got something to print on. Yeah, it cannot be unseen once you've been here on stream, but you know, this is this is the life I live. Copy that, bring it down just till they touch. Let's go ahead and get it to like here somewhere. Turn that into that, and that'll cut off that little bottom bit after. All right, and we're going to call that the interior cab for now. That's going to be what prints and gives us our little guy. That's going to be what gives us our little fake engine that we're going to paint in here. Um, Bobby Gilbert, I know you're still in the chat. You're making Joey Nails jokes, which I appreciate. What I need to know now, I'm going to go up to the close-up screen. I'm even gonna turn my green light filter off for just a second here. Um, so Bobby Gilbert, on your Avenger here, do you want, I can have like down here, I can have some pipes coming down from the engine, your exhaust coming out the bottom, sort of like it does on modern Monster Jam trucks. Or if you want, I can have it come up and out the side of the body, so that there's sort of, there's those blowers that kind of come up and out. We can do either of those, but I need to know which you prefer, because I can make that work. I've done it previously with other designs. So what do you like? Do you like the sort of custom exhaust that comes and blows up the sides, or do you want sort of the more modern exhaust? The second option. Okay. All right, that is completely doable, and we are going to do that now. Right, let's get a look here. I'm literally just sitting here kind of sizing things up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw the old green screen back on. All right. Tough decisions, but we can do this. All right, we're gonna get our little pipe guy again. And this is going to be about the diameter and everything that we want on this. But it's going to take a couple of them to make it work. Let's There we go. That's about where we want to be. You know what? I've stretched and morphed this thing all crazy. We're going to start with a fresh one. Over here, I'm gonna pull up the pipe. Boom. Make it solid. Then we're gonna make it lil because we need it in scale with what we're doing here. All right, that looks pretty good to me. We could actually probably even go a little bit thicker. There we go. All right, so now we're just gonna do some very basic rotation here just to get it aligned the way we want it. Bring it on up. All right, and now we get to, we're gonna have to extend it out a bit. Thankfully, I made this base plate the same width as the interior of this body, which the green screen's messing with, but it gives me a real easy measurement to know how far out the sides it's coming. All right, that's gonna work real nice, I think. Yeah, we're looking good. Okay, cool. Okay, so we need this angle, that to be a little bit long. We want that to be a little bit long. We're going to mess with our angle here a little bit. I got no idea of truck modeling, but your stream might be useful. Tell me more. Tell me more. I'm interested to know. Now we're going to, we want to change this angle a little bit. And I want to go a little bit wide. Just about to there. Come to the side here. And we're going to give it a jaunty little angle. Something maybe about there, I think looks pretty good. We're going to bring it in and we're just going to let it sort of connect here. We're going to go, yeah, we're going to need that leading angle to be a bit longer because we want that to sink it into the engine. We're going to go somewhere right about there. Trying to make sure that this is all going to look right with the way this works here. I may even move this whole engine forward just a hair. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the answer here. So we're just gonna bring it all to somewhere right about there. Could you do a custom grill since that version of Avenger doesn't have one? Well, it does and doesn't. It's hard to see with the green screen. You might be able to make it out. Between the headlights is filled in. I might leave it sort of the way it's gonna sit just because it means you'll be able to see the engine a bit more. But I may end up doing a test print of this piece and we'll just see how it works. Can we connect on Discord? I will like to have knowledge on modeling. I'm not super, I don't use Discord a ton. I do have a YouTube channel where I do a lot of modeling like this, and there's a lot you can learn from it. I try to make it that way purposely. All right, let's bring that back to about there. We're gonna go to this guy, bring it all the way to here. You know what, we're gonna start it back just a little bit because I want you to be able to see a lot of this engine past the blowers. Yeah, we're gonna call that pretty good. I don't think it'll need to be much taller than that. Bobby Gilbert, let me ask this. And again, forgive the green screen here. Um, do you want the blowers to just come up right to the side, or do you want them to come up higher than the actual hood? I can make them reach up taller. Kind of up to you. It's a stylistic choice, depending on how you want it to look. It sort of ends up being the difference between looking like that versus like, something like here. Yeah, okay. We'll go nice and high then. We'll do something like about like this. All right. Let me get a top-down view here and let's see what we're thinking on this. I think this is looking pretty promising. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and Command D. We're gonna bring it over just until the two are barely touching, right on the edge, right like that. And then I'm gonna go boom, boom. And then I'm going to select all of them. We're going to bring it in line with the rest of the engine here. And that's going to be our header on one side. I'm going to make a copy of that, flip it around the other way, get us our top view, and now we're just going to bring it over until they're even. And I'm going to say that that's about even, but there's an easy way to check. We're going to select that, get us our view right from the front, and now we can kind of, actually that looks really even. Yeah, that's dead center. Nailed that. Let's go. All right. So what I've effectively done here, the place where our little pole, the little post that's built into this body here, needs to go, uh, is going to go right into that engine there. And that's going to be really useful. It's going to help stabilize the whole thing. And let's see, what do we think? I think that angle's looking pretty good. I think you're going to be able to see a fair bit of our engine here. Hmm. And you know what? Actually, I think I want to change part of this a little bit. I want to take this and I want to rotate it this way. We're going to bring that back to there, bring that back to there, and then we're going to go wider, I think. Get a front view. I know. I'm doing the Bob Ross thing where it looks real good and it looks real settled, and then you just start changing everything, and everyone goes, "Oh no, what are you doing? You're ruining it." Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I am gonna take this guy. Let's see. No, that's not the one. Let's go with that. And I'm just going to bring that across and connect it there. It doesn't matter. Again, that's a detail you won't see, but you know, I'm a nut that way. All right, we're looking real good here. So I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group this whole mess. And I can assure you that's probably going to bog down Tinkercad for just a minute. I interact with a lot of the chats and stuff on my YouTube. Anytime you're on YouTube and you leave a comment, I like to react and interact with those. I also respond to DMs. I'm on Blue Sky. I don't check my Twitter as often these days. I do check Instagram quite a bit. Those are all great places for it as well. Let's see. Said you might have other surprises for me. Oh, what are they? Oh, I'm supposed to just give away the surprises? I mean, I do have one other surprise that I'm sending along with this when I send it, but that you're gonna have to wait and see when it comes. Well, while that's figuring itself out, I'm gonna go ahead and drag our chassis back in here. Go ahead and let's give that a bit of a light gray. Once this is done grouping, which could take a while, there's a lot of parts in there, a lot of polygons. When I did these copies, that can be pretty slow to group. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is this will print upside down and elevated off of the print bed. That way the tires have their support, this part stays nice and flat, and all of these little angles down in the chassis are able to print up without supports. It's a bit of very careful design that I did back when I first created this. Hey, Robotic, thanks for stopping in, bud. I do believe I'm probably going to stream tomorrow night as well. But at the very least, I will see you Friday in Springfield for Monster Trucks. I'm very excited. Um, but yeah, this chassis was very carefully designed for this. It is going to have some supports that are going to have to go inside the wheels now that I backed up those sort of the hub covers that I used to have on these. And then this will print this sort of center console piece here, the cab and everything will print in the orientation that you see it here. I'm not going to elevate it off the print bed or anything. It's going to be flat to the print bed, so it has a nice flat surface there. And that's going to work real nice. I designed it specifically so that it would be like that. And all of these angles are going to be able to, with the exception of right underneath here, the rest of this, it's all going to be able to print without supports. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Now it's grouped. I'm going to make it a slightly darker gray so that when I put them together, we can sort of see the difference here. But I'm just going to bring it over and we're gonna kind of plop it on top of the truck here just so we can see what we're looking at. Let's get a top view. So we want it about there. Then we want it. Oh, now this is tricky. This is why you do these test fits. Yeah, that's right. I need to add PVV to the tires. This is why we do these test fits. You see how it's actually it might be tall enough that the tires aren't an issue. But you see how it overlaps the tires? We always got to be careful about that. That's you can get into some real trouble there with the tires rubbing on parts, but I think we're just okay. I think that shouldn't be an issue because it's a little bit more narrow than they are. You know what? I have a way around it. I'm gonna It's a little risky, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to delete that one. We're going to take this and we're just going to make it the littlest bit wider. And I'm going to go ahead and recenter. And let's get a look. Yeah, that's I feel a little bit safer with that kind of clearance. That looks better to me. All right, so then we got to copy that. We got to move it back. And just like before, we got to make sure that it's in place where we want it so that it prints within its own space here. That should be pretty good. Just in case, let's get a zoom in here. Yeah, that's good. Not touching anything. Perfect. That's where we want that. All right. So that's looking good. We are going to have to copy that again in a second when I go ahead to add those letters. All right, let me show you how we're adding the lettering. Let me move the cab off of here. So usually in basic shapes is where text is listed, but I don't see text here. There it is. For some reason my brain wasn't registering it. Cool. Yeah, when we're all wrapped up here, I was hoping to get through a few more of these, but we got ambitious and we started putting engines and drivers in there, which is, I mean, it's part of the fun is doing the weird, the complicated stuff, you know? Um, all right, so let's go PVV, and then let's go ahead and we're gonna pick a font that's a little bit more legible here. We're gonna go with that one. Height is not super relevant. We're gonna do a bit of a bevel there. Yeah, and give it some segments, a little shape to it. That's going to look good. I like that. All right. We're going to pop it up 90 degrees. Pop it around 180. So now we're looking like that. We're going to bring it down, but definitely make it thicker. Get it to the height we're looking for, somewhere about there. I don't mind if it's a little bit. It's always going to be a little weird unless we make it so small that it's impossible to see. feel like this might end up looking a little bit like the Durliner Giant. It could a little bit, except it's gonna have that Avenger body on it. All right, that's gonna take forever. I'm not moving it that way. Let's go like this. Come back to here. That's definitely gonna be too deep in the tire, really. Let's get back view. I want to get this right. And I hate the idea of doing 3 different letters to get the arc, but I might have to. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do. All right, so we're going to go with that one for now. And then let's go ahead and that'll be our second V. Bring it over. We'll rotate it. Yeah, we're getting fancy now. Going all in. We can go a bit higher on this. We're on the rim there. We don't want that. All right. That looks good. Let's go ahead and bring this over. We're going to put a little bit of an angle to this. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Get our height. There's our PVV. Now we're going to go 2, 3. I'm going to group it. I'm going to make it a negative. Now I want to get a better idea of just how deep we're indenting here, because beyond a certain point you're just going to damage the look of the tire. All right, I think that's probably deep enough to look good, but shallow enough to not wreck it. All right, and now I'm gonna Command D. We're gonna flip it vertically. And then we're gonna bring it down to where it makes sense. I think that looks pretty good. And then go ahead and copy it. Bring it over. Put it on this one. And then I'm gonna copy. All right, let's select the ones we want again. Command D. We're going to flip on this axis. And then with a nice overhead view here, we're going to bring it on over and give it a similar indentation over here. Oh no, they're backwards. Oh goodness. No, that did not translate. We got to fix that. Holy cow. All right, let's yikes. There we go. That's what we're after. That got weird for a minute. Actually, this one and this one, I think we gotta switch back. Holy moly. Yeah, flipping stuff backwards and inside out is weird business. Let's make sure the other ones read right. Oh, they don't. Oh, they were gonna get me on that, weren't they? Oh no, no, no. Not quick enough to fool Pear Bear. All right. Now I'm gonna come on up to the top here. We're gonna select that and that. We're gonna group that and see how it looks. I think I missed one. Yeah, I definitely did. See, I was so close to getting a monster truck game on my PS4 because of you. Oh, what game were you gonna get, Pup Chase? Lands on all 8 PVVs. PVV brand monster truck tires. Getting into a whole new realm of marketing here. The new Monster Jam one. Oh, I that's the one I play that pretty frequently on stream here. It's absolutely super fun. It's Monster Jam Showdown is the current one. It's a great time. Really enjoyable. Um, quick and easy to learn. All right, let's see. How did this indentation end up looking? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Branded tires. Look at that. I should have been doing that all along to all my toys that I sell. In fact, I may. This is a whole new thought technology for old Perry. Let's grab that. Hmm. Yeah, this came out really good. If this all fits on the first print, which my experience doing these in the past is there's usually a bit of finessing to do. If this all fits on the first print, I'm going to be very pleased with this because uh, it's a little bit tough to do, and I'm really happy with how this design came out. But yeah, let's bring this back in again here. Let's go to our top. Let's get it nice and even. Get back till it evens out. Yeah, that looks great. I'm very pleased with that. So there it is. That's going to be your chassis with your driver and your engine. And I believe yeah, but credit to Bobby Gilbert for the idea. Shouts out Bobby Gilbert with the good ideas. That's going to be it for that design. I'm real happy with how that worked out. Um, I do think I'm probably going to start the print on this like maybe even tonight. I know these chassis are a little slow to print because I print them on a pretty high quality. I want them to look nice and work well. And this other piece, I'm also going to have to print similar, probably printing both in black. So Bobby, I'm actually going to go ahead and grab a piece of paper here so I can jot this down real quick. Your hubs. What color do you want your hubs in there? Knowing that you got your, I'm gonna pop up my my big screen here, gaming close up here with we're gonna take the green screen off again. All right, so we're looking for a green similar to the body for those hubs. All right. Okay. And I believe what I'm gonna do, your tires will be black like this. I think we're probably gonna leave the chassis black like this one. That way your engine pops out a little bit more. I'm gonna do that in silver. And then as far as the helmet and bodysuit on your driver, um, do you want to go green on that? Do you want to go green and like orange, or what do you want? The details are going to be it's not going to be super detailed, but I just want to get the colors right because I'm going to paint it on stream. But let me know what you want on that. Avenger colors. Okay, yeah, yeah, I'll pull up in fact right now I'm gonna shrink myself back in the corner, leave the green screen off. Um, pull up pull up a reference picture here. That way we're on the same page about how we want this to look. I probably won't get every bit of detail like he has. Wow, there are like no pictures of him wearing his helmet. Every picture is him with the helmet off, just showing off the suit. But that said, no reason I can't do a suit similar to that, I think. A little bit of orange on the shoulders, green everywhere else ought to do. And then, yeah, the helmet's I'll probably go green on the helmet as well, let it match. But I'm sure you'll be tuned in when I do the live stream to make that happen. Um, all right, let's go ahead and I'm gonna throw my filter back on here. There we go. But yeah, let's get a look here because this is your essentially the body that's or the chassis and everything that's going to be underneath that car. I paint the PVV to match my gear. Well, I can try. My gear tends to be black these days, but that PVV is going to be really small. Like it's not very thick lettering. That's just how the letters are in this. So it might be a little hard for me to paint in there. I might be able to do a little bit of weathering on the tires. We can get into that. I'm sure you'll be present when I do the stream painting it. But I can do a little something with some sort of dry rubbing of some gray and white paints that'll probably sink right in there. And I think yeah, we can make those stand out a little bit, sort of like the way the BKTs stand out in Monster Jam, those bright white BKTs. I think we can make that happen. But yeah, that is we've essentially made everything except for a truck body here, which is exactly what we need for this. And in future streams, I'm going to do some more of these where we're going to fit them to some of the other bodies. I've got a Samson, I've got a Gravedigger, I've got a Bigfoot Power Wheels. I have one body I've been saving because I kind of want to use it to make like a truck pull funny car type design. Um, yeah, I've got a whole bunch of different ones that I want to design different styles for. So we're going to get to those on future streams. But for now, I'm going to call this pretty darn good success. And I'm going to call that a stream because I got to get down and do my lifting for the night. And it is freezing. So the longer I put it off, the worse it is. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out on this stream. Tomorrow night, I doubt that the printing on this will be done. So I won't be painting this tomorrow night. But I do have some gaming to do because there was a little bit more DLC that came out for Monster Jam Showdown. So I'm going to be back here tomorrow night, Monster Jam Showdown, 9 p.m. I will see you all then. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you later.